Guys, so I'm about to do this breakdown for Blink Twice. This is just off the top of my head. I don't want to do this long drawn out review, so please follow. If you did not see this film, don't watch this review. If you've seen it, I hope you like what I'm about to say and we can follow along. So here's the deal. So Zoe Kravitz, this is her directorial debut. I'm not gonna break down the synopsis. If you want to know the synopsis, go check that out for yourself. But I'm gonna tell you about the two characters. Slater King is a billionaire. Frida is a waitress. All right, so let's go into the very first scene. In the very first scene, we see this green Mexican alligator lizard. In that scene, I instantly knew that it was going to be something about survival, resilience, and playing the game of blending in. So to obtain power, Frida had to blend in, be resilient for her survival, because that lizard represents survival. All right, then we go into the next scene. She is sitting in the bathroom on the toilet in a purple shirt, and she is researching information on Slater King, and then she's looking up her IG page. So we learn several things here. Purple is the crown chakra, that is knowledge. She is obtaining information about this guy. So she's looking at her phone, obtaining information. This scene also gives us audience the information that we need about who Slater King is. We find out he's a billionaire. We find out that he is apologizing. He's going on this press tour of trying to clean up his image. We find out that he owns an island. And then we find out that she does nails. All right, then fast forward to the next scene where she is going to her job. In that scene, they're playing the song Pay the Cost to Be the Boss by James Brown. Now here's the deal. That whole scene before they go into the island is foreshadowing what's to come. That song lets us know she is going to be the boss in the end. That her boss coming to her telling her she needs to be invisible lets us know she has some insecurities about people not knowing who she is. And this is what leads up to why she is so easily manipulated by the Slater character. So then after they sneak into the party, they wear these, her and her friend Frida and Jess, they wear these blue and red dresses. Okay, some people can associate the red pill, blue pill from like the Matrix, but what you got here is you got control and freedom. Frida wore the red. I always say red represents danger, but because we know that she was mind controlled twice by Slater, then we know, okay, that's control. Blue represents freedom. Jess was the first one to be freed from the mind manipulation because she was the first one to get bitten by the snake. So they get on this island. You see them change into this white attire. White is normally worn in ritualistic. White is also a renewal. The irony is that every day their mental was renewed. So then we have a little bit of the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve thing going on here. Because in the Bible, it was Eve who was told by the serpent to eat the apple, which gave her knowledge. Here, the serpent, irony, is the older woman. Frida represents Eve. The island is the Garden of Eden, right? So Frida, when she goes into the little room where you see all of those red bags, it is the serpent, the knowledge she's given when she gets the snake venom, right? Okay, so then let's discuss this red chair. And I know I'm all over the place, so I hope you guys are following me. The red chair represents the lower chakra. The fact that he kept moving the chair around said several things to me. Said that his chakra was out of balance and his sex desire was everywhere. That's why he kept wanting the chair to be moved around. And then when you're on a throne, you think you're the king. So he was in that space. He is absolutely the king on this throne, but he was in a state of confusion and indecision because he kept changing it. And he kept changing it because he was not stable. So we go to the table. After they put this white on, they go to dinner. All right. So each character in this film represented someone in society. You had the Christian Slater character. He was constantly taking pictures, right? When we notice things are happening, sometimes instead of us stopping it or helping, we tend to film it. All right. Then you had the young man with the blonde hair, who was like, I can't think of his name in the film, and I don't know his name. I'm sorry, but he, the Slater character says, you just watched and you didn't do anything. So he represents a group of people who will watch someone experiencing something fatal, and they won't open their mouth about it. They won't assist. They won't help. They'll just watch. Then you have the Sarah character, who will be in competition with other women for the validation of men. Then you have, actually, let's go back, because Frida and Slater are pretty much the same people. Rock with me on this for a second, because here's the deal. You know how they say you attract to you who you are. We learn later in the film that Slater was a victim who started victimizing others. Frida was no different. She ended up being a victim, but in the end turned around and victimized Slater. They were the same person, right? Okay, we saw oftentimes in the film that these women were running, and they would ask, like, why are we running? Because they were prey, right? So when animals are hunting their prey, they're hunting their prey sometimes by their scent. This perfume that they were given from this flower gave them a scent as well as lose their memory. So these men were hunting their prey. That was the game of it all. So that's what I got from that. That scent was because these women were prey. You also kept seeing that the chickens were leaving, kept getting out of the cage, which to me was foreshadowing that these women were going to get out because they were chickens. And I don't know if you know the derogatory term that sometimes women are called birds, right? And lastly, like I said, I didn't want to do a long breakdown, but I forgot to mention the assistant. So she represents people who don't want to know what's going on, right? And because I started thinking about the red gift bags. Again, the red in this sense represents the lower chakra, sex. All of this was sex and power. The red in this film, sex, power. The film was very interesting, right? And I would definitely give it 4.5 stars. And the reason why I wouldn't give it a 5-star is because I have questions like, what was he apologizing for in the beginning of the film? We don't know. We just know that he did something bad, right? I would have liked to know a little bit about Frida's family. Like, we ended with her taking things over, Slater being all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because she made him forget certain things. But I understand that the film it could only go so long. But I hope you agree with some of the things that I picked up. I could be very wrong about everything I'm saying, but that's just something that came to my mind, right? I always associate colors and things like that, but I definitely got the story of Adam and Eve and the betrayal, the pay the cost to be the boss, all of that, wearing the white. Yeah, it was a great movie though. Great job, Zoe Kravitz, you that chick.